DreamHack Masters Malmö is brought to you by Aces ROG, HyperX, and Monster Energy.
They did it in 2016. It's time to see if they can replicate that here. 2017 DreamHack Masters Malmö. NiP, we're looking to defend their title at least here. Hometown heroes as well. Could be a little bit of a bias in the crowd here in the Malmö arena. They have arrived in their masses. And I see a whole lot of NiP jerseys in the crowd too. A few Na'Vi as well, as they'll be clashing with them in a best of 3. And I don't know if they can compete with that G2 SK game. I certainly hope so, because we could be strapped in for some wonderful Counter-Strike here in our 4th day of play. A couple of faces have chopped and changed. In fact, we have an Aussie on the desk now. No stranger to going down under. Chad Sponge Birchall. We have, of course, the ever-lovely Jacob Pimp Vinica and Janko YNK Paunovic.
Just Janko.
Just Janko. I really like trying a second name. It makes me feel like
no adjectives for me. Thank you.
No? Oh, sorry. We have Janko as well. So, Counter-Strike, guys. Ninjas trying to go ahead and do it again, get to those semi-finals. The standing in their way, though, is Na'Vi. Now, Chad, they met before. Last year. Not only did NiP win it, but they're meeting again next year.
I don't want to be the one to take this, Alex, because this was during my depressive state after I just retired.
That's true.
So let's give it to Janko, who was here, to set the scene, because right, I can't do it justice.
No, okay.
It was a dark time for me.
It was a dark time. I like your shirt, by the way.
Thank you. I'm going to return it after the event. I got it across the road.
Would you call it olive? Olive?
Vomit green.
Vomit green.
Yeah.
Janko, you were here, and you were slightly less depressed than Chad at the time.
Yeah, not only was they here, I was the only one who predicted NiP to win the whole thing.
Thought that might crop up. Thought that might crop up.
To Thorin. But yeah, that was actually an amazing run from NiP. That was when Threat really got into the groove of coaching the team, started doing it full time. We saw a new NiP, a lot more disciplined. Everyone started talking about their anti-force buy rounds, right? They were very disciplined and methodical in those. They would almost not lose a single player in those 2 rounds, which gave them a lot of room to work with when it came to the gun rounds, a lot of room for Threat to devise a game plan and always be a step ahead of their opponents. Yes, they had a couple of close series, the Godsend one, and obviously the grand final was 16-14 on both maps, but they did manage to pull through in an amazing run.
Absolutely, they did. And I think what's interesting there is that they have all the same ingredients again, albeit with different names. Now we've got Draken and Rez, who'll be their first time taken to the stage to try and defend that title. I'm gonna stick with it, despite, of course, Vegas happening in between that sandwich. Newcomers, a lot of pressure. Do you think these are the kind of players that are going to buckle under that kind of thing, Jacob?
We haven't seen so. Like they have been playing so well ever since they got onto the team. Even at ESL Cologne, which is for them like a huge event, both of them pretty much the biggest they've ever attended. They didn't seem to be affected by that at all. Everything we've seen from NiP so far has been great, pretty much. Like I don't think we've went through an event where we said, okay, this is a bit lackluster or they need some more time. It's pretty been a steady trend upwards for NiP throughout this whole period with Draken and Rest on the team. So I don't see why they wouldn't be able to cope with it.
I mean, what have we seen from them so far at this event? Of course, after the player break, we're going to use this event as a sample size, which is basically what? A Nuke win versus FaZe. We saw them on Nuke with the best of 1, then with the best of 3 win versus Gambit. So, I mean, that's surely, Chad, that's evidence at least that they can fight with the big boys.
They're definitely trending upwards, I would say. Like, coming out of the player break, it looks pretty nice. For the 2 new players coming in, what you're saying with the pressure for the stage and stuff, having the 3 old dogs who are very tenured at being in big stages, especially in front of the home crowd, they're going to keep them calm. And I think being in that booth, definitely being in that booth is going to be you know, a big advantage because you feel a bit more divided from the crowd. Like, even though you know that it's there and they're going to be nice and loud for them, that'll be a factor. But I think with this team and the way that they're approaching Counter-Strike, we're finally where NiP should have been maybe a year ago, maybe more so. They've actually brought in some young blood, and this is going to help stimulate the Swedish scene.
penetration, stimulation. You are just unbelievable. Truly, you are.
Horny little beaver.
Navi. Navi.
Yes, Alex.
So your accent makes things funny. I absolutely love it.
What accent?
That's the bad joke.
What accent? Exactly. I was going to ask you about Navi, but you know what? Why don't we hear from them themselves? Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure, especially if you're joining us here in Malmö, because it is time for the players to take to the stage.
DreamHack Masters tournament really means a lot. I mean, it's in our home turf. We have so many fans coming out here and supporting us, and we don't want to let them down, and we especially won't let them down here.
I'm really happy to be in the quarterfinals. It always means a lot for us because the crowd is amazing. That atmosphere, I like it very much.
And now Bo's back with the angle. Yeah, this should be impossible for him to win. That's a nice flick, though. But still, with the 10-second, he's got to find Hobbit off to the left. Oh! What is that flick from Draken?
Success in doing so, but Flamey's done much better off. Flamey's done an incredible job. 4 down inside the middle.
It's a big tournament with a big prize pool. I would like to win it.
Good luck, boys. Let the best team win.
My expectations and dreams when we play in front of the crowd is, of course, going to be winning. Yeah, nothing else.
And for the second quarterfinal, welcome on stage, Ninjas in Pajamas and Navi.
It's quite the spectacle. You can see smiles creeping onto, I imagine, both players and both sides' faces as they face that crowd. It is quite the roar. Zeus back in the orange and yellow jersey, looking to guide Navi to do what they couldn't do last year on this very same stage. The scene is set.
Yeah, I don't want to take too much away from Navi before we even get into the server, but on paper, in hindsight as well, their run to this position so far has probably been the easiest out of any team.
Right,
Beating
VP and Renegades,
who look completely depleted or out of it before we've even got back in the swing of things, and then you have Renegades who, you know, would be considered one of the weakest teams at this whole event. For them to just be able to go through those two squads, Renegades did put up a bit of a fight, even though I did predict them to win, it wasn't enough. But you know, like I'm saying, on paper, it doesn't look like Navi have had the hardest of runs to get here. We're going to need to see a lot more out of the individuals. We did see Flamey stepping it up against Renegades in that decider matchup. Simple's been good, but he has, in an interview, criticized his own current personal performance. So that could be a little bit of a mental issue weighing there. And I think it's just going to take time for these guys to grind into the unit we know they can be.
I really did like as well, just hearing in that interview with Simple, just how he's identifying that there is work to be done as a team, as a unit, establishing, I mean, this is stuff that you wouldn't necessarily have heard from him in previous interviews, but the growth is clear, both in gameplay, both in and out of game, and he is going to be, it's going to be interesting to see him on the primary AWP role. We haven't talked too much about it, and admittedly, it was a huge change to lose Guardian. No longer will we be talking Guardian steps up, Navi win. That conversation is dead, Jacob.
It's dead, but it's Simple taking over, and I think he's more than capable of them. Against Renegades, it didn't look good at all. You know, I was expecting Simple to go in and do Simple things against a obvious much weaker opponent than for example, Virtus Pro or some of the other teams that are going to face now, especially NiP. But it wasn't Simple, as he maybe said in the interview, he was not believing in himself, he didn't feel comfortable, and he didn't do the simple things that he normally do, which is running around, jumping around, and doing sick flick shots, you know. So he needs to step that up, and he needs to do now if they want a chance to actually beat NiP in this quarterfinal.
I'm just listening to the crowd.
With that Swedish crowd, you know, it's crazy. Like, I've been to a lot of events around the world, but the Swedish fans are unreal. It's like they have had esports as part of their life for such a long period of time. I was coming into the building today with Get Right, Forest, and Exist, and a dad and his little boy, like I think the kid was like 5 years old, they walked up to us for an interview. The kid was so scared, wearing the NiP jersey and stuff. It was completely starstruck, and you don't get that anywhere else in the world. Even I went across and grabbed a coffee, and the guy said, "Oh, good luck today with your commentating analyst stuff." And I was like, "Oh, that's nice."
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, even everywhere you go, I think I saw a full family of 4, all in their own jerseys, all walking, taking photos outside the arena, a little holiday of Counter-Strike. This is what we do it for. It's absolutely fantastic, and these players now in the booth have a chance to make this crowd roar. Rez, a new face to the scene, and a new face at least to the crowd in front of them, wearing that NiP jersey. And what have you made of Rez's arrival in NiP? We got to see him over in ESL 1 Cologne, of course, a little bit more time to settle, Janko.
Yes, it seems so far he's fit in pretty well into the team. At Cologne, he had some great performances. Obviously, that was where NiP just won cash every single time, and that was it for the tournament. It seems like they've gotten good on some of the other maps as well in the meanwhile. But I think for NiP, what was more important than the roster change was the fact that they had to go back to the style that was working for them initially and then expand up on it later on. And I think that's what we see here at this tournament with Threat and the coaching rule change, where he's able to talk in freeze time as well, that NiP is looking a lot more structured, a lot more coordinated. You know, it seems like everyone is on the same page and they know what needs to be done. We had that great T side against Gambit, 13-2, even on the second map as well on Overpass. They lost on overtime and then closed it out on Train. So all around, great performance from NiP so far in the tournament.
Yeah, and I mean, with that discussion, I'm actually going to continue to poke you and prod you here, Janko, because I want to make sure we have ample time to talk before we do actually see the maps to think out loud about this one, because this is a huge best of 3, semi-finals on the line, and I want to know what Threat is talking to the boys about. What's the discussion to be had here?
This is an interesting veto because NiP recently changed their perma-ban from Mirage to Train, which is at the moment probably Navi's strongest map. On the other side of things, for Navi, it's a no-brainer, it's cash, which works well for them since it's NiP's strongest map. And there, when it comes to picks, now it's tricky for Navi. What do they go for? Mirage may be a map that they can go for, but that's what NiP picked up as well. Overpass, that's something that Navi would have definitely wanted, but the last 5 or 6 times they played it with this lineup, they've lost every single time, so their confidence cannot be that high. For NiP, it's a clear-cut pick, at least in my eyes, Nuke. I think that they would have a great advantage on that map.
Okay, so they take Cobble out.
They did veto Cobble against Gambit.
Cobble?
They vetoed Cobble against Gambit as well, and Train was the 3rd, right, in that series. So maybe Cobble's the one they're not feeling too confident on.
Yeah, but Navi pretty much sucks on it.
Train is going to be picked up then by Navi. Janko's eyebrows do raise.
I think that's okay for NiP. They didn't look that bad against Gambit on Train. I think it looked pretty promising.
16-7 win, yeah.
16-7 against Gambit, who's a great team. They beat Mouseboard 16-8 and they beat Face 16. What was it, 7 or something yesterday? So, you know, great pick for NiP, I'd say.
Okay, giving some faith in what could be Navi's pick. They get to start off on Train. Starters, they mean to go 1, and now there goes Overpass.
This is where we'll see how confident NiP is in their Mirage. Whether they will go for it as a 3rd map or will they veto it out and play Inferno, on which Navi had a great performance against VP. Take from that what you may.
Navi are doing a lot of favors for NiP in this veto, right? Getting rid of Overpass, we said it's normally or historically a good Navi map. They have had issues on it lately. The fact that they're scared of it that much, right? That they don't think they can recover or turn it around against NiP, who they didn't look fantastic against Gambit. They looked okay. Their T side was much better than their CT, but you'd think Navi would be able to, you know, replicate at least what Gambit did.
Train,
so it's going to be Mirage.
Mirage, RR3. Now, the theory crafting gets even more interesting because, I mean, we have to expand upon this. Jacob, I see you nodding when we talk about they've done a lot of favors for NiP in this veto. You agree that Overpass baffling you, the Train? What is it that's kind of raising your eyebrows the most?
Pretty much everything, you know. I think NiP got a perfect veto going right here for them, and it's that's Navi's problem basically. You know, this is a new project for Navi. I don't think they know themselves where they're strong yet. You know, they have to figure that out. Whereas NiP have had 2 tournaments now, one in Valencia where they ended up winning and where they did get to experiment against some less skilled teams on some of the maps, where Navi is completely new to this. This is their first tournament with a new in-game leader and some new like ways to play and some new roles for some of the players for quite some time. We talked about C's taking on a new role probably now, have been the in-game leader, have been the support player, even the secondary op. You know, there's a lot of new things going on this Navi lineup, so I think that bluffles into the veto process right here, and that's probably the problem for them right now.
Well, I see the audience, or at least the Twitch viewers, are siding towards NiP. It sounds like you are siding towards NiP as well, Jacob. Do you want to back that up with some reasons?
Yes, because I have 3 reasons why I think NiP will proceed to the semifinal. First off is that NiP are trending upwards right now. And we've said that countless of time now on the desk, and I think that's a justified point to make. We saw them play at ESL Cologne, which was the first tournament with this new 5-man roster, and the first tournament with Rest and Draken on it. They played well, you know. They showed that Cash was one of their go-to maps, and in general, they just lived with a good impression at that tournament, being that it was their first tournament, and it was a big international tournament for so young players and such a new team. So that was like the first trend upwards. Then they followed it up by winning DreamHack Valencia, which was, again, an awesome display by NiP. they pretty much won it without any problems. Arguably, the teams that were at the DreamHack Valencia wasn't that strong, and definitely not of the caliber of Na'Vi, Astralis, and those likes. But still, it was again a trend upwards. And what we've seen from them so far in this tournament has been excellent. You know, I think NiP is one of the teams that looks the strongest thus far in the tournament. So they're trending upwards, and I don't expect that to stagnate right now. Second reason is Na'Vi. Na'Vi is the reason why NiP will win, you know, because Na'Vi is not ready yet for it. Na'Vi have a lot of problems. I think this map Veto is explaining it pretty well, you know. They have some things they need to figure out. Coming in with Zeus as the new in-game leader again, he's been there before, we know that. He's played with pretty much all of them besides Symbol before that, we know that. But it's still a new thing, especially when you have Symbol on the team who's requiring a lot of space and requiring a lot of, I'll say like a lot of attention in that sense. Like you need to take care of Symbol and you need to make him happy. And I think that's not something Zeus can do within a week or two. It simply needs to be something that he has to take care of right now. And for that to work out, Symbol has to play well. Third reason why NiP is going to win this game and proceed to the semi-final is the youngsters on NiP. We talked about Res and Draken and the task they've had. They embrace the fact that they have been given a role on this NiP lineup where they have responsibility. You know, it's two players that has to put up frags, but not in a way where they lose the game if they don't. You know, they still have sorry, not Freiburg. They still have Exist first and Get White to fall back on, and that's showing great in the games. You know, because when Res and Draken goes off, NiP wins with no problem. You know, and when they are a little bit silent anyway, they still win. You know, because the fundamental of NiP is so strong, you know. So the fact that these two youngsters can embrace the task and embrace the fact they've been giving space and giving an opportunity to actually make something for themselves while not taking away all the pressure from some of the old guys in the lineup is the third reason why I think NiP will proceed to the semi-final.
All right, giving NiP some confidence. That's a 2-0 call then.
That's a 2-0.
That's a 2-0 call. Now, I mean, Chad, this is where I kind of turn to you and say, any faith in the black and yellow jersey?
Well, like you look at the matchup that Na'Vi had against Renegades, right? Flamey went huge. But I was talking to Gomez, the Renegades manager, while the match was happening. We were talking about all the times we faced Flamey from time to time, and he always seems to play well against us, like Renegades, right? Yeah. So he's quite a scary prospect in that regard, but maybe it's a confidence thing against that squad, whereas you don't always see him putting up that same level of numbers consistently. And Civil did have not a fantastic game, just a normal game. I think if Na'Vi can come in and Simple can play well early, then everyone else will rally behind him. But there's so many times where I agree at the point with C is not a new role, but I think like it's a similar role and he's like still like a support player and he looks lost from time to time. His decision making doesn't look there and they need a lot from him to be able to get in this one. So they do get their map choice first, which is the only positive I can really draw for Na'Vi, but otherwise I have to be leaning towards NiP, and Jacob's last point about these youngsters I think is really important. Like, they can take risks, and the other three players you know are there with their fundamentals to back them up, and it means that you get exciting players out of Rez and Draken, and Draken's one of the highest rated players in this tournament so far.
No, absolutely. And I mean, Janko, who'd have thought it? We are starting a death segment by saying that NiP have smashed the Veto. How many times have we said that? Exist has been known in the past to not put them in the best stead. Now they stand looking triumphant.
I don't think it's still that they smashed. I still think they should have Veto trained and played something else, simply because it's the most comfortable map for Na'Vi right now. And NiP is a team that has more structure. They had more time to practice. And I think they can allow themselves the luxury of letting another map go through. And because of the strong fundamentals they have with Threat, it does feel like whichever map they play, if they stick to those fundamentals, they have a chance. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to go with NiP because I do feel that they are the better team all around. It's going to be interesting to see if it goes to Mirage. We saw that NiP had some cool new things prepared for the map, and we saw how Na'Vi can be punished. They were very much punished by Astralis and an execute heavy style on the T side. So I think with Train it might be closer than people expect, but I'm still going to go with NiP.
Okay, giving them just a little bit more credit. Now, I know, Jacob, we've got a bit of a disagreement here then. You think the Veto was great? Yanko's got a couple of question marks. I mean, what's going on with you, Chad?
I was just checking. NiP have been vetoing Cobble as their first ban since DreamHack Valencia.
Okay.
So it's been some time since they haven't been playing Cobblestone. So that's why it's their ban, right? That's why they're... Yeah, and they obviously don't feel like they want to play it against a Na'Vi who, like we saw yesterday, Flamey holding down that B bomb site, being a turret, you know, mowing Renegades down as they're executing onto the bomb site. They obviously want to avoid that kind of stuff, and if it's their ban, that's why it makes sense.
Okay.
So that's why they're happy to leave training.
As much as I agree with Janko saying that NiP have the luxury of actually being able to move that, I think Chad makes the point, you know, Cobble is not a map they're comfortable on right now. So why not go into Train, which they already had 2 wins on during this tournament against 2 teams who play Trains very well, you know. That shows that NiP are not only good on Train, but strong on Train. And I think that's like, it's like basically giving them a gift in this best of 3.
What do you make of that, Janko? I'm just stirring the pot. I wanted to keep that discussion going.
I just think like if it is their permaban, if it's something that they decided to switch for the eternity of time or the foreseeable future, then it's fine. I mean, you just don't want to play a map, and that's okay. I just felt because it's a map that they have played a lot before, that it's something that they can leave through, perhaps. You know, it's just been a month, perhaps, or so since Valencia. But at the end of the day, will it change all that much? Probably not. If they are truly the better team, they will come out on top.
We'll see. It does seem like there's a lot of doubt for Na'Vi in this one. I think I'm going to have to go ahead and be the sheep that follows the... are they a herd? I think they're a herd. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go for NiP. Graphics guy was ready for that. He was like, I know where this guy's going.
I mean, you said 2 days ago, all you do is follow what I say.
Well, we can see there is evidence in the graphic I don't do that. Okay, did you go for Renegades? You did actually, never mind. Well, we all drank that Kool-Aid, I forgot. Oh, okay. Anyway, yes, Renegades did fall previously in this group that housed both Na'Vi and Astralis. And I
have some more time, Alex? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm just trying to work out. I think Na'Vi are on the toilet.
Oh, nice. Well, you should have saved that for NiP, but never mind. I think here the win conditions for Na'Vi are interesting. Obviously, it has to be great individual performances, but it can't be just that because of the way NiP plays, very methodical, good use of utility. You need to find ways to be aggressive and to disrupt them, to disrupt that style, whether it's a default or a set execute. And that's going to be very hard for Na'Vi to pull off because they didn't have that much time to practice simply. And, you know, a good answer to an execute heavy style is playing for retake. Let them use all of their utility to take the side, then they have nothing to defend the retake. But for that you need time, you need coordination, or you just need big plays.
Do you think, you know, that they are going to try and navigate back to kind of the older style of Na'Vi? You know, this was something that was discussed quite a while ago now in Zeus and running the clock down and how CS has progressed so far from that point. Do you think that's going to be something that will be another string added to their bow? Because we haven't seen them doing that kind of style in quite a while.
I've been waving the flag that you need to have a mixture of everything, right?
You have, and that's viable, right?
Yeah, I think it is. You know, if you want to start with that slow-paced style, then that's definitely one way to look at it. You can either you can do it any way you want. It's just about having every piece in your arsenal to be able to pull out when you need it, right? And the Na'Vi players should be no strangers to playing very slow, based off the time they have spent with Zeus in the past. It's just, what is the game plan going to be? What are the weaknesses that have been found out from you know, Kane and Zeus? What have they looked for? And that is how they're going to approach the game, right? I think early on, from like a NiP perspective, is we're going to get to see if they're going to test Flamey inside. We did say, we're saying he had a good game versus Renegades. So the normal game plan on training is go inside early because you're expecting most teams to do like a 1-4 setup, right? And then you exploit inside, and once you've done that, then you can go back to whatever strategies you want. You can be doing set executes, you can be putting a lot of pressure on Ivy, all that kind of stuff. So I think early we'll get to tell if Flamey's on again today. See what kind of presence he has on the map. And then the same thing's going to be reversed when we flip over the other side. I think Na'Vi are ones who love doing that kind of player. At least they did, even when they had Guardian, they like doing explosions on that inner bomb site come first gun round. So that's, for me, is going to be the pivot point for the T-Halves.
I mean, when you think about the Veto, I mean, you talk about strategy and how it is going to be quite strategy heavy. Surely Train and Nuke, 2 of the 3 maps, are one of the ones we'd consider most kind of reliant on strategy. I don't know what you make of that discussion, Jacob. That, I mean, of the 7, those 2 probably top of the list.
Yeah, I agree completely. And I just I stood here thinking when Jab was talking, like how frustrating it is as a player to face a team like NiP who are as structured as they are, you know, because every time you, as he said and as Janko said, like, you need to be aggressive, you need to find loopholes, and you need to destroy that like a machine basically that's coming against you one or another way. But it's like every time you do that, you feel you face a wall sometimes. And as a player, that's so frustrating, because if you try to do the right thing and it doesn't work, you know, what are you left with basically? And that's like, I always feel like NiP is one step ahead in the game already. The Na'Vi has to try something aggressive, and if that doesn't work, then they're pretty much left with nothing, you know. So I think it's going to be completely it's going to be very difficult for Na'Vi, basically.
It will be difficult, and not only all of that, they also face against someone who is a master of spraying. It's been a series we run throughout DreamHack Masters. I'm sure you can guess who it is. He certainly is good at the Svenska. Let's check out this master of spraying.
Down Forest, but Getrai comes in with a spray. He gets all 3 kills.
Getrai just has a really smooth spray. I just think it looks really fluid.
I think that Getrai has one of the best spray controls in the world. It's very unique.
Not a disco staring it down. He can't fall on the jump. He did. Just it up. Great play from Getrai. Oh, second information gathered. And Getrai.
I practice spraying in CSGO like basically every day. There's not much to it. It's just practice, practice, practice.
He could chew them up right here.
He's spraying something special because no other players can spray like that.
Checking the first one, get right, letting him through. There's a 1-2, goes for the triple get right, shutting down every single member coming through.
High praise from some huge names of Counter-Strike. Get right with his indomitable spray control and spray transfer. We'll hopefully be seeing some of that in this best of 3. One of the many keys to his and the Ninja's success. And another key to success for both of these teams that has not been talked about and actually is relevant as we are actually working on fixing a coach's PC is those guys behind them, the 6th man, who has been given a bit more additional voice here in DreamHack in case you're unfamiliar with the rule change. For DreamHack events now, they can talk in the beginning of round time. That's 20 seconds every round where they can go ahead and actually provide some insight, whether it is identifying trends, whether it is more just calling the actual round that they're going to play out, or simply slapping someone on the wrist for something they should and shouldn't have done. Now, I don't think we've talked too much about Kane. Now, this is the guy that's now moving. He moved with Zeus, if I'm not mistaken, Janko.
Yeah, officially that's the reason of Zeus's departure, that the team wanted to kick Kane out of the team, and Zeus made it, you know, an ultimatum basically. If he's gone, I'm going with him, and that's what happened. Now they're both together in Na'Vi. They go back a long way, play together at some point. So it seems like, you know, Zeus values him a lot, not just as a friend, but obviously as a colleague. He feels that he's been a big part of their success at the PGL major too. We saw Simple briefly in a couple of interviews also give him praise. So it's going to be interesting to see moving forward with some time. They have a couple of tournaments lined up at the moment, but it's going to be very interesting to see how this new Na'Vi lineup will look like a month or two from now.
Final words about those coaches?
Yeah, I don't really know the inner workings of Kane, but I would say based off the type of in-game leader that Zeus is, Kane is more just bringing, you know, the analytics in terms of looking at the opponents and giving Zeus the information he needs to work within his system. You don't need a cheerleader type coach in this team when you have Zeus, and then you flip over and you look at NiP's one. Thread is actually probably doing a lot of contribution with in-game leading, during like giving a lot of suggestions, I'd say, as well as doing the reconnaissance?
Yeah, that works. Yeah, scouting. That works. I mean, I spoke to Freiberg when he was working with us in Cologne, and he made it clear that, you know, people got kind of not threatened, what's the word? Judged threat during the dip-off of NiP. But the reality was, when he was full-time coaching, everything looked tickety-boo. And then, you know, we started studying. Don't forget that he's now finished with his studies and is back full-time doing that coaching thing, and we'll get to see if he can summon some NiP magic behind them. We can summon the casters as well as they get involved in a magical transition. Here they come.
You're so good at that.
Well, thank you. I've been working on it. Been working on it for a while. Except that if I was going to be a real magician, Matt, I'd need to borrow your shirt.
That's true, actually. You do look
like Merlin.
You look like a little magician.
And twist his last name.
I can make certain things disappear, Alex.
Ooh, okay. I've got Freiberg's banana here.
Usually. That's not one of them.
All right, so Henry, Matt, you beautiful humans. You got another best of 3. Have you actually caught your breath after that G2SK game?
Yeah.
That was insane.
I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
Did you have
fun? By the way, with your predictions, you all just pandered to everyone in the arena.
It's the best way to do it.
I didn't realize we were doing that. Are you going for Na'Vi then, Matt?
Well, see, I'm protected by this steel box, so no matter what I say, I'm safe. So yes, I'm going to go with Na'Vi 2-1.
Revenge for Na'Vi, calling from the crowd.
All right, then.
I'll leave it with Henry.
They were here. I just really wanted to make sure they were in the room.
Well, you've gone for Na'Vi. I have to say, I'm going for 2-0 NiP. From the map pool I've seen so far, I feel like, yeah, there you go.
Fine,
that's how you become popular.
I don't like Swedish blondes. I prefer Ukrainian women, if I'm honest, so it's fine.
From what I've seen from Na'Vi so far, it seems that they're relying very heavily on individual greatness and some huge moments. You think about that Renegades game, I feel like they would have lost that without that simple 1v5. I think that was actually falling apart for them. But NiP, they've looked like a solid 5-man unit throughout this tournament. If you look at the stats, all of them keeping up with each other. There's not one player that's really running away with it. And some of the younger names like Draken is actually the top performer for that team, which is great to see.
Yeah, hit a ridiculous no-scope yesterday, by the way, which even left Get Right a little bit struck for words. They have been great. There's no denying that. I think Draken actually, either with Rez being beside him, more familiarity, or just getting used to this team, maybe they changed and loosened up a little bit. He's come into his own since Rez has joined, and Rez has certainly been a good addition for them, and I'm glad to see them sort of invigorated and with a fresher look. I think that's something that's really hurt them for a while. Meanwhile, on the Na'Vi side, there's no question their map pool is limited right now. Seized has been struggling a bit to come to form.
form, but Simple has looked decent in most situations. He was a little bit slow. Oddly enough, in the one game he has the most memorable play on. He got a 1 versus 5 ace, but otherwise on that Cobblestone game, he was a little bit lagging
He looks
behind.
a little bit slow with the AWP. He's not as like electrifying as he possibly could be.
The good news is he doesn't have to use it. So long as Na'Vi can adapt and play a rifle setup, he's just as effective on an AK. We know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Na'Vi versus NiP. Make some noise, we're going to map number 1. It will be a T-side start for the Swedes. 4 sets of armor, smoke, flashbangs, and a Molotov as well as an outside execution. No inside plays here. NiP going very quickly towards outer with Rez leading the charge. Simple has spotted him, but Get Right to open things up.
Zeus, immediate response, gets back into him. However, Rez gets Simple down early, which is a good kill to find in all forces as Forrest on a pistol, as always, finds a kill. It's Flamey. Falls to his wayside. Rez follows it up. Just sees remaining 1 HP against 4 and a bomb. Not a chance. NiP takes the first pistol and opens up the match. 1-0.
Very quick round there. With the smoke and Molotov, you'd assume they'd go towards the inside bomb side, but smoking down the first track, Molotov towards the bomb train, and splitting between Ivy and main entrance, hitting all the shots required. Lovely stuff from Get Right and Forrest. Rez with 2 frags as well. Only 1 kill picked up for Zeus. That was it on the Na'Vi side. There will be the force buy here in round number 2. The scouts come out, the CZs are there as well. Deagles for Edward. No defuse kits, of course, but Simple, known to be very scary with the scout map. We've seen some crazy shots of him with this weapon, and on this map as well.
A rematch of last year's Malmö finals. Good shot from Rez. Seized goes down.
I feel like this is one of the areas that NiP are really going to exploit. I think Seized is not the most amazing anchor for the inside bomb side. And if they can bully him like they will, I'm expecting them to do with the inside executions, which they're very good at, this could be a real problem for Na'Vi.
Flamey CZ stays close to the A main entrance. He'll start to get a little bit curious. But is he a cat? Get it, Henry.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Curious cat.
Yeah, Draken goes back around. Flamey manages a kill, traded back by Forrest to Get Right, sprays behind him to find Edward. Shot from the scout won't land from Simple as he swings to find more. Same result, nothing at all. 2-0 for NiP. Na'Vi has to wait 1 more to bring out weapons.
2-0. They get a couple of frags there, Na'Vi, but not enough to convert to a victory. Here's that first shot from Rez. That was pretty beautiful. Finishing things off as well. Good job. Full eco now for the Na'Vi side. In terms of their money, Simple has got enough for the AWP next round, so that's always going to be a dangerous factor. He can be quite average with the AWP or completely unbelievable. We'll see what he brings to the table here. He likes to move it around as well. He goes towards the upper ramp. Main entrance, Ivy, definitely going to be doing that. And it's almost guaranteed he brings out the AWP next round. He'll be up against Draken, of course, though. As we mentioned in the pre-game, has had a pretty fantastic tournament himself. Actually, statistically, actually top of the charts for NiP. One of the younger players with Rez as well. That 3-man core of Forrest, Get Right, and Exist. This is what I like from NiP, though. They've always been so good at the anti-eco rounds. A lot of teams will just think, oh, they've only got USPs, no armor, let's just rush in together. And they'll probably give away 1 or 2 kills. But NiP is so methodical with these rounds. They get all the information they need to deploy the utility, and they keep all 5 alive. And that's what you want to be doing. You think about the bigger picture and making sure each round is as clean as possible.
Yeah, and a lot of teams buy the utility and then die with it on their belt. What's the point in investing the $300 if you're going to lose it all anyway? 300, possibly more in some cases. Forrest, good tap to find both Simple and Flamey. Get Right will avenge him. Gets Edward, but not seized yet. He's still searching for him. He's back at Old Bomb, and finally Exist will swing around to find him instead. Bomb continues to tick as we wait to get the gun round underway. It's Zeus they have to find. All AKs, so it's not like there's a massive kill reward, Zeus. If he had a kid, imagine. NiP's not going to allow it. They're close enough by. Get Right immediately on the case. 3-0 standard. Tech timeout called, just so that everyone's aware, by Na'Vi. They've got some issue that they want to resolve. In fact, I believe Seized has left the game. No, I take that back. It's not Seized at all. It's Flamey. I had to think about it for a minute, Henry, but I got there in the end.
Well, it's good we've got you here to work it out.
I'm quick. I'm usually quick.
3-0 NiP. There will be a technical pause here while we work out what's going on with Flamey's PC. But these gun rounds are always the most exciting. After the force buy in the second, Na'Vi will be clutching at straws to get all the utility out, get the defuse kits there as well. But NiP did give up a couple of kills, surprisingly, to the USBs in the previous rounds, so there won't be a bonus round of swords. They'll rebuy in with the full rifles. Maybe Draken brings out the AWP at this point as well. Certainly can afford to do so. We know Simple will bring out that ult. He hasn't purchased just yet, but he's got enough money to do so. But the force buy in the second round, there's your hero.
Calm down, ladies. He's a married man. I heard that whistle. Always one for the camera, Forrest. Beautiful trophy on display. Very contemplative Edward as we wait. Flamey's still not back in the server, just to keep you informed.
Well, headsets are still on. That's normally a good sign.
It is a good sign. We're also, just to be clear on that, because typically we mention that, so because we can't reveal much of what's going on. They're in soundproof booths, so we can still talk in that.
And we can confirm that as well, because we're in one of those, and you can't hear a single thing in there.
No, I would leave the door open so we could hear if there actually was NiP fans here. I thought I heard more Na'Vi fans, if I'm honest. Apparently not.
No.
just one or two.
Not all jokes land, Matt.
No, it was perfect. It was perfect. It portrayed exactly what I was going for.
Perfect. Well, there he is. The master of spray, hiding himself away. You won't find him.
He's hiding from me after what I just said. Yeah, you see? He doesn't approve.
Ever the showman.
Watch him break the monitor, and then we can get a longer delay.
The cable
Oh.
I like this.
Did you know Ninjas in Pajamas are from Sweden? I didn't know that until I saw that flag.
I wasn't familiar either. Well, there you go.
You learn something new every day.
In the Malmö arena, of course, the fans have turned up to support their favorite team. I'm sure as this game develops, they'll start blowing the roof off.
See the purple lights in the top right? I'll let you figure out which box that belongs to. But this is one of the loudest arenas that we had on the calendar last year. I'm sure it will get there again today once we get back underway in this game in specific. 3-0 NiP. We wait for Flamey. Join back in.
What is he up to?
Can't answer that for you, Henry.
There's Rez, the new signed player from Epsilon. Similar story as to where Draken came from as well. Seems to be the farm team of Sweden, but what a farm team has proven to be. All this young talent has come up through it.
Disco Doplin was on there at one point in time as well.
What's he eating there? Is that a pear?
Looks like a pear.
Lovely pear.
Oh,
that's an
come on.
fruit. What's he just... Oh, did he spit it out?
Chew with your mouth closed, Draken. Nah, he's just playing with the camera.
Ah.
But you're right. You speak about Epsilon. Keep in mind where they came from. You want to talk about Valve's minor system. The first iteration of them didn't invite or include all of these sort of teams that are in there now and been forced down due to the qualification system. And it invited a lot of teams that hadn't had any involvement in a major at all. And one of those teams was the Cringe Gods, as they were known at the time, and which effectively became Epsilon down the line. And it opened up a qualification system which showcased these young players. And it's been excellent for them, I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And some very good business as well in terms of selling players to big organizations. It looks like, Matt, we're ready to go. Are you guys ready to get back into this one? Well, here we go then. Orb comes out for Simple. Like I said, it will be a difficult buy here. Na'Vi with no kits. No head armor, but considering they got those UMPs down in the previous round, that won't be an issue. Draken does indeed buy the Orb himself. He'll be looking towards upper ramp. Common position for Simple. This round, though, he'll be towards outside. Sees alone on inner. I did say that could be an area of interest for NiP. He plays his position with the incendiary out, spots a pixel, and deploys the incendiary to get some time to work with. It's fine. He can stay on this position because they can't cross to upper, of course. If he goes down with an overextension, that could be round over. It takes so long for the backup to come in.
Exist starts his way in, doesn't land a shot, but Rez will jumping into the flames, unfortunately, leaves him exposed to Simple on the AWP. So he's already got one to his name if he wants to get confidence with the gun. Good way to start, but look at Exist. He's slipped up undetected, and Simple's no longer there to snap his reactions back over to the left side of the tanker. Flamey is left to go down with no one to trade it back. Zeus will eventually get there, but Forrest still keeps them in the lead on the NiP side. Good damage done from the M4, but it won't land the kill. And the bomb, therefore, has a chance to be planted, protected by Get Right in doing so. Unfortunately, he's a martyr, is Forrest. After putting the bomb down for his team, he will fall, and Edward brings it to a one-on-one with Draken. AWP on the high ground, Edward with 2 kills. Molotov goes in, but it's very early, no kids.
Very early.
But still, there will be 10 seconds more so with the smoke going down. He wants to bait him out as well. He's hoping that smoke will lead to a peek because he has to. He has to consider, but he never heard him touch the bomb. Shoots through the wickets somehow, and then beside the shoulder, Edward gets the shot. Does he have the time? I think just without the kit, so it will go Navi's way 3-1. It's gonna be close, but I think he's got it. Oh, dear God, that's close.
Doesn't get much closer than that. Draken just had to stay alive, but Edward bests him there. That was a round where they had no kids going into it. It seemed like it was done. NiP, like we said, seized just playing that incendiary play, but they push through the fire, take him down. If Draken hits that shot, of course it's over, but he didn't even have to be in that position. Could have fallen right back. Going to the next round here. Still a difficult buy for Na'Vi, even though they won the round. Recovered the AWP for Simple, but you can see Famous out, UMPs as well. Lose this one, it's a double eco. NiP still a full buy. And I think we have a bit more aggression towards inside this time. Simple will be outside, but sees he's pushed towards that lower ramp with the UMP and actually gets the first frag as well. He got taken down by Rez in the previous and finds some redemption in round number 5.
Simple with patience, has the op at the ready. Toward Ivy. Edward rotates from Old Bomb. Op versus op in that direction, but Simple instead finds the kill toward Get Right. That's going to leave them down now 2 men on the NiP side. Bomb, it waits in the halls above. Existed Forest head toward B. Full rotations, by the way. If there was ever a chance to try and fake back to a bomb site, this is it. No plant coming in because, again, bomb's nowhere nearby. But they've caused some confusion and some chaos as Forrest gets a second kill onto Zeus, but not enough. Flamey's there to pull it back and continue to have a lead on the Na'Vi side as a result. Draken on the AWP will put the call and information that they rotated, try and anchor the A site. But the distance between the two makes problems, especially with Simple on this angle. Staring straight down toward Pop Dog. Gets closer still on the AWP. And he's looking to hold the angle, swing out. Won't be able to pull in just fast enough to find it, but look beside him. Good shot from Simple. Down goes Draken. That's a good shot back from Exist, but it's not enough. It's only slight damage. Simple will hold back. They know exactly where Exist is and start to rotate back around onto him. Good first shot, but Edward trades immediately, and it goes 3-1 for NiP.
A little bit closer than they would have liked that, Na'Vi, after finding that first frag, but there it is. They do win it out in the end. Good shot by Exist. You're absolutely right, but good refrag from Edward. Recovered the AWP once again. The bomb goes down once more. I think we have just about a buy left for NiP, but Na'Vi now closing the gap. Good work from Simple in this round. This is a lovely shot. Spots the barrel. Eviscerates Draken that. Double AWP set up now. And it will be in the hands of Seized indeed. He'll head towards in up. Maybe not at the upper ramp. He likes to play actually on the lower ramp itself usually. That's where it looks like he'll be heading. So, NiP certainly do buy into this round. 1 AK, a UMP, then 3 upgraded pistols. 2 of which are CZs, and Draken's got the Desert Eagle. They do get some inside control towards the brown holes, but like I said, Seized on the lower ramp. Wants to get 1 frag and his full back. Oh, another shot, but he still will drop to a different line.
I think he actually did make contact with Exist. Through the wall or not. Simple climbs the ladder to watch in toward A main, but no commitment just yet from NiP. Single AK. Forrest with that AK is still trying to support his teammate and Get Right, who's made it all the way to Sandwich, but spotted as Edward, no smoke in his way. Walks out and sees the head sneaking to the bomb site. He will not sneak past, switch to the pistol. It's not going to be fast enough to get Forrest on the AK, but immediately Simple responds. Fires back at him. And another round Na'Vi, so they tie things up immediately, having lost the pistol. We sit 3-3.
3 in a row. Na'Vi only dropping 1 frag that round as well. It was the force buy from NiP, but they are getting bombs down consistently. 3 in a row, actually. Won't be enough to buy into this round from what I can see at the moment. Na'Vi's starting to establish himself quite nicely. And he's starting to swell. About the 2K mark right now, but up against the Eco. He should be able to get himself in a very nice position indeed. Draken actually purchases the AK-47 and head arm up. So for the AWPA, that's an interesting decision, but see whether we can have any sort of impact here.
Seized, fast flick. Catches res. Fall back, another single AK buy on the NiP side, or at least held in their possession, but it's seized. Slowing them down, doesn't get the second kill, but deters them from potentially going in from the upper position toward the B site. Meanwhile, Forrest is still evaluating exactly what goes on at the bottom of Pop Dog. Rotate all the way back around. They leave Get Right at the bottom of the ladder to try and break out upon the site and go for the plant.
Na'Vi don't have to do anything at this point. They've got the opening kill. They know it's a very weak buy for NiP. Just hold back, double AWP setup as well. There won't be much in terms of execution coming from NiP, considering they've got no grenades whatsoever. So it's all those crossfires and deny the plan. That's all they have to do at this point. Even have 2 players towards inside with this man advantage.
Shot connecting from Simple. No smokes. So if they're going to get in, they've got to do it with damage. And if Simple keeps missing shots, he makes it possible. But the rifles, let's not forget that they are still in position and they will make quick work of NiP. So no bomb plant, 4 in a row. But this time they go on to guns, and the double ops exists on the Na'Vi side. Again, they're going to call a technical timeout and ask for the admin to intervene. But on the NiP side, it's immediately back onto the AWP for Draken.
There's all the shots against the pistols of NiP there, but 4 rounds in a row now for Na'Vi. Looking pretty decent on their CT side. Do have the money available for NiP once again, but you're right, another technical timeout for the Na'Vi side. As we work that out, have a look at the buy for NiP as well. Draken with the AWP. Not the best though, he bought that AK in the previous round. I said that was an interesting decision. Now he has no head armor or utility to work with. That might not sound like a big deal, but up against the M4s, 3 of those on the CT side. He means if he gets dinked at all, that's an instant kill. It's like an AK in that respect, and makes him very vulnerable.
Zeus stays silent as per the rules during the technical timeout. Apparently it is, speaking of silence, a team speak issue, so perpetually in silence right now is Edward. They actually, by the way, just to clarify, because it's a TeamSpeak problem, they're asking to be unmuted so they can test that, because they get muted, obviously, in a technical timeout.
Yeah, exactly right. So they need to be unmuted to work out if his headset's actually working again. It's weird it randomly stops working up for a game, but...
Sound card issue or otherwise. Didn't have the cable plugged in.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That
could pull a Henny and have his headset and his in-ears in backwards. Or was that Lucas? I can't remember.
It was one of them.
It was one of them. The one that looks like the other.
Yeah. So that's Edward on your screen right now. Trying to sort out the TeamSpeak. Hasn't been unmuted yet. But they have won 4 rounds in a row. There's threats, of course. The coach for NiP, given a lot more freedom in this tournament, allowed to give at least a lot more input at the beginning of each round. He has 20 seconds to assist, exist, and give his input and maybe call something earlier on. Obviously can't do the mid-round calling. I think it's a nice balance of both rule sets in that regard.
That's 100% right. So if you're not familiar, if you're just joining us for the playoffs and didn't see the rule set change, coaches, unlike in the Valve rule set, that can only talk during timeouts and at halftime, they have input in the freeze time in this tournament as well. Missed shot on the AWP with a fast chance and try from Drake.
Wow.
Speaking of fast, Seized is looking great on the secondary op on this map.
Yeah, this is promising, I have to say, from Seized. Up around, that's a difficult shot to pull off like that. The flick works out. But why is Zeus doing that?
No need at all. You have an advantage.
That doesn't make any sense.
Zeus is the brains of this operation, and he certainly didn't use his there.
That's just suicide, crawling up the pop dog for no reason. You've got the man advantage, and now you have to fight back for that? That's bizarre. That's why Zeus would do that. Well, brings it right back into favor of NiP. A 4-on-4 certainly gives the T's an advantage, but not if they're walking through smokes like that. Get right, taken down by Edward, waiting by the dumpsters. 4-on-3 now. Now we recover the situation. Back towards inside. We did say they have got good inside executions, but not really much utility left over. Smoke for lower ramp. That'll be deployed momentarily. Flashbang as well. This will be their final move. The incendiary is perfect from Seized. And it's going to set Flamey up quite nicely.
Already cut off Rez on the way through. Forrest. AK on entry. Needs an immediate kill when he arrives. Good shot from Seized, however, to take down Drakenson. Now he needs not only one kill, he needs all four. And he won't get that far. In fact, shut down at the door. Bomb drops, Simple with the kill. 5-3 now down for Na'Vi, which puts us at a maximum loss bonus. Which also means there's force money there, but I'm not sure it's worth it yet.
Just to check in with the frag shots here, Matt. The AWPA for NiP, Draken, the player's statistically been their best so far. He's on 0 and 8, and they haven't picked up a single gun run as of yet, so the AWP, little to no impact whatsoever. Another eco round now for NiP. CZs, Deagles, and a P250. Maximum loss benefit, like he said, but not quite enough this round to do anything with, and it will be Edward spraying them down. Simple chimes in as well, but looks like a very convincing round. But this does pull one back, but that could be the only frag they get here. Forrest now left in a 4 versus 1 situation. Deagle, head armor as well. Might get a cheeky frag out of this one, but I feel like his days are numbered. Seized final frag, and 6-3 comes through, 6 rounds in a row.
Oh, now, Seized. Now, let's not go make any enemies. I've already done enough of that for the both of us. 6-3, guns drawn again. Draken immediately back onto the T side at AWP. Full money, therefore a full arsenal of nades on the CT side. In fact, I've got 5 digits left over on a few players. As Simple looks for the fast frag toward A main. Flashed off immediately, he takes the shot. They know now at least if the AWP was in that position, but they won't have anything to work with it. They wait for Seized, who has gone to this corner time and time again. This is a problem they have to solve. They've Molotov'd him, he still took the shot within it. That's expected. If they're going to Molotov it, perhaps wait a second longer and then try and claim the brown halls, because it's been an issue, undoubtedly. And you mentioned that trying to exploit Seized would be a strategy they could work on, not if he's playing and hitting shots like this.
Exactly, that's the thing. If he's hitting shots like that, he seems to be turning up today. He was a weaker part of the map earlier in the tournament, but he really is showing up. And once again, aggressive on the upper ramp, meaning he can play there by himself. Molotov will push him back somewhat, but Simple still hitting shots. Finds Get Right. That's at Ivy. Zeus, don't run up the ladder now. Keep the advantage. He's thinking about it. This time, stays alive for now. Exists. Watching it like a hawk in case he's gifted the same opportunity again. 5 on 4. Time ticking away now. What's the final play? We haven't really seen a set piece from NiP just yet.
Absolutely true, we have not. Another shot in from Seized on the AWP continues to be impressive toward B. Flamey up close as well. Similar setup on rotation after the first 40-ish seconds.
He killed him when he tried to boost on the brown
That's
holes.
even better, you're right. I thought it was on the ramp as we snap back over. That's a good scout by you, because that's through the skylight. That's not easy to do. And you said that yesterday. It's not a common place to find a kill. Even better that you get it in reverse. Simple does find Exist on entry as well. That brings Flamey back in after the reload. Forrest gets him, but that's not much for Wear, because they only get the one. Res adds to another, but it's not enough in the end.
Yeah, if we can get a replay of that Seized kill just then. That looks really cool. I want to see how difficult that was for him. Oh, perfect. Here we go. Oh, God, yeah,
Wow.
just about spots him and takes down Draken. That's really cool.
Timeout called. This time it's not technical by any means. It's a full tactical stop from NiP. They're first to 4, and it's needed. They've only won one rounds after the pistol with guns advantage their side. Since then, 7 in a row now for Na'Vi.
Yeah, Draken 0 and 10.
Yeah, it's
we really need him to turn up with the AWP now.
Well, if he's going to play T-sided op against a double op setup, absolutely he's got to find picks, especially at Ivy or that corner where Seized is continuing to push.
Still a maximum loss bonus, but the bomb hasn't gone down in the last 4 rounds. Money's still not ideal. Get right down to just the Galil. Draken, he is all in with an AK. No head armor, no nades. So things not looking ideal here, I have to say. Round number 11, NiP so far only really delivering in the pistol and the follow-up anti-eco rounds. Na'Vi, so far so good. The areas of weakness that I thought would be inside, actually proving to be very strong indeed.
Draken goes to the AK, and he's on the board with it. Gets Flamey pushing. Perhaps that'll encourage them to sit 2 AKs on the T side as Zeus tested way out by E-Box without his teammate to the right side, so hug the train so as not to be exposed. Caught pushing once up ladder. He could go back in again if he's not careful. Oh, smoke drawn at the exact time they push through. Somehow they don't see him. But Exist does get a trade. That could have been much better off for NiP. The jumping player does distill the aim of Simple, and Rez hits the shot. A good tandem play from NiP to give them a lead to walk toward a site and get a bomb plant from the hands of Exist.
Looking much better now for NiP. Flamey goes down first and hands to Draken, and then out the pop though they come. Could have all fallen apart. Didn't check that position Zeus was sat in, but only gets 1 frag. Take him down. And they capitalize towards outside.
And I'm going to say this, Na'Vi's not even going for this round. They're going for exits. They strictly want to cause a reset and take economy away from NiP because Edward walked from the time the bomb was planted all the way out Ivy just to get in a post-plant position for this exact reason. They're playing the long game. They're going to win the war, but not this battle.
Well, Draken just goes down as well. That was the AWP, but it is recovered by Exist on the other side of the map. They'll take Simples. Ooh.
They get you that time.
We've got the door open now. It's a bit louder. I did get a little tingle. 7-4. So NiP still yet to see those set piece plays and executions from them. It was Flamey that got aggressive towards the main entrance then. Draken got his first kill of the game. And that was the catalyst. That got them going. For 11, but he gets the high impact frag that manages to post the first gun round here. And number 12, Sees, pushing around, thinks better of it, can hear footsteps now. This is Brave, he's by himself, man. No backup here whatsoever, he goes down here for sure. Yeah, I feel like he heard so many footsteps, I feel like that was a poor decision towards the end. I think he should have fallen back and trusted his instinct.
So get right with the kill. Flamey, with flames thrown toward him, is going to spot from Skylight. There's a smoke down for a fast drop, and Edward is on his horse to try and get in position. Wide swing from Flamey, only the one. The M4 insufficient, hits the headshot on Exist, but gets taken down. Forrest over top, though, does find Simple's AWP, but in the wrong fashion as he gets taken down, and it's suddenly just Draken remaining. Bomb is planted, but he needs to hit shots and hit them effectively. That will do against Simple. Molotov behind him means he's got to go aggressive. He's going to go back through it. No! Oh, no! He hit the wall. He almost stopped himself inside of it. 11 HP for Draken, smoke on the bomb. It's planted high on the train, and Edward would have to jump toward it. Remember, he does have a kit as well. Pressure onto Draken, and he's going to try and swing. He's not going to be there in time. He's going to hold. Edward's already got the round. It's done with no contest. Forced out by the Molotov. No confidence left for Draken.
Didn't have the HP to work with that. Took a gamble that Edward would just tap the bomb, but he knows how much damage he did with that incendiary back and didn't have the confidence to take the final challenge. Lovely shot here. Seeing some return to form, but got blocked on the wall. You're right. It's down to 10 HP, and that's a harsh reset. And he doesn't save. Oh, he does save it. Okay. Presumably he did.
It's exactly what I was talking about losing the previous battle, but they want the war on Navi's side because this is the reset they were looking for. 7 rounds in a row, only one for NiP, and an instant win goes the other way.
It's not the most devastating. I can see Get Right's got 5K.
Largely due to the bomb plant, to be fair.
But couple of AKs come out. They've got the AWP as well. 3 AKs, so it's not a horrendous buy. This is going to be one player on a pistol. But that's not good news overall. We're going to round number 13 now. Double orb setup still running strong for Na'Vi here. Draken could have gone from 0 to hero that.
Oh, that's gonna spread. That's so close.
It is, isn't it? Oh, it's such a cool idea.
Draken's had enough of the Molotovs.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Shot Zeus to start off against Exist, but Draken's still trying to spot anyone who dare push up Sandwich. Instead, it's his teammate that wants it, but Simple is fast and Forrest is down. Simple continues to look for more with the AWP. Knew they were behind E-Box, but got tunnel vision, and GetRight was able to slip up immediately behind the quad position. Flamey looks back the same direction, but he's got so much in front of him. He's got problems as well because Edward's not exactly in the best position to support a crossfire. Even still, they combine to find GetRight with a tandem peek that goes back the way of NiP on trades +1. And it's seized remaining. And he'll go down. Draken holds it, not even a chance to get back inside of the site.
Much better there from NiP. 2 kills from Draken to finish things off as well. Was the force bite, but it worked out for them. Oh, it's actually the wallbang spam coming in from Zeus to kick off that first kill of the round as well. That's very interesting. That was the very first kill. Rare to see that much damage at the very start. Round 14 now. Final few rounds of the first half. Difficult buy for the CT side. You can see Simple still on the AWP, but the UMP's out. To seize this time. He's been so good on that double orb. Draken trying the wall bang out here. In terms of the overall setup, no one towards Ivy for NiP right now. Just holding up and waiting for any sort of CT aggression. That's how they got their first gun round here. Flamey pushing towards main entrance. Got taken down. Grouped up. Run over the bomb side. Sees alone towards inner once again. This time only with the SMG. He gets caught out this time. Could be a lot of trouble, but Draken now up against Simple. If he goes any further, but this time wins the battle.
Draken with the first shot. Flamey to try and respond. He's getting a little bit uncomfortable and pushed in by GetRight. Finds a quick frag, but so too does Zeus. In fact, doubly so on top of the bomb train itself. Finally smoked off. And GetRight inches in. Inches and tiptoes with the bomb. Oh, that crosshair doesn't matter. He goes for vision instead and tags Draken. Seized arrives at the right time. An opportune moment. And it's 9 now for Na'Vi.
9 for Na'Vi. Zeus, great work there. 2 frags and then pushes the smoke to deny the bomb as well. Seized with the perfect flank from inside. Like we said, in that area by himself, was playing by the lower ramp. Very mobile at that point. Comes in for the backstab, wins the round. And NiP have got almost nothing to work with here in round number 15. A couple of rifles, one of which is a Galil. PD-50s and Deagles, almost no nades. Has to be a fast play. Now towards Olaf is Draken and 3 players towards Ivy, ready for the pincer. They are taking the aggro here. Edward could find himself in a spot of bother. Bombs towards Ivy being boosted up. At this point, GetRight with the only AK. Needs to make something happen.
Edward, good positioning, but better trade. GetRight goes in. Flamey reverses his position toward Hell, but watching quad, thankfully. Zeus is able to cut that off because Flamey was being pushed from either side. He still will go down to Exist, and Draken follows that up to give them a fighting chance in a 2 versus 2. Split up as they are with bomb down inside of Ivy. The latter will cost Draken in the end. His life gone to Simple. And they know exactly where Exist is. Oh, that nade. He's lucky to have turned back. Not that makes a difference anymore, but still to recognize the fact that he was going to take damage. In fact, half of it down from 28 to 14. Seized with 48. Already over toward the B site, just to be sure he's not heading that direction. And I'm not sure that he isn't, or is. Okay, yes, in the stairwell now. It looked like he could have gone back toward A main.
14 HP for Exist, 30 seconds remain. If he goes towards inner, Seized ready and waiting at the upper ramp. He sees to hit 1 bullet as well. I think Seized is going to take him down here in about 3 seconds, but could all fall apart. It's down to timings. Oh, he slips by the lower ramp. Seized has no idea. But he hears the footstep, I believe.
I think he did. I was going to say, what's the point in being there to watch that site if you're not going to watch that site? No bomb plant, you're right, though. Did hear the footstep. 10-5. Na'Vi recovered from being down 0-3. That means NiP only won 2 rounds in the middle of everything else. And one of them was with a force buy, if you will, after a reset. So Na'Vi, for sure, the better team of the half. 10-5 they lead as they swap over to their attack on Train.
Yeah, it didn't really seem much in terms of like we were expecting the inside executions or maybe some mixed up faster rounds with quick smokes and flashbangs staying as a 5-man unit. There's a lot of defaults and getting picked off. Na'Vi looking very decent at the stage, especially seized. Been a rough tournament for him, but this map has been pretty spectacular. Had a lot of impact. Only gets 10 frags, but when you're playing that position by yourself and you're holding them at bay and funneling them back towards outside, that's absolutely fine. Plays that 2v1 perfectly, like you said. Alex just had to go down lower ramp, but managed to deny the plant and ultimately win the round. Double digits on the CT side. That's absolutely fine. NiP need to win this pistol. Haven't really impressed me yet. We haven't really seen an amazing performance from the likes of Forest. Or Get Right. It's been quite a quiet game.
It's been quite a quiet crowd due to the results of the game as well.
Well, here we go. Second half begins. 3 sets of armor, Seeds with the smoke and Molotov. Simple with smoke and flashbang. This looks to be a very fast approach here. Seeds and Simple setting up their smokes right now. Rez will control the Brown Halls area. I think this will be an outside execution. Get ready to deploy their smokes. 4 players outside of the CTs with Rez controlling the upper ramp.
Edward decides that better of the A site and goes back up the ladder to join his teammates who are pushing on to Rez. Contact. Fades away, but then goes back in, realizes not hitting shots as they get closer. He's best off to be inside of the site. We'll have Get Right to watch the lower ramp, at least for entry point. But no face yet at B. You have to consider that this goes back toward A.
It will be the outside pins there. Smokes to be deployed. Bomb train and connector. Kraken will have a chance to pick them off, but gets taken down by Flamey. Lovely shot there. 5 on 4 as they make their approach towards the bomb site. Bomb will be planted.
From 4 is down the alley. He's not hitting. He's not connecting. 2 bullets left to do so. Not going to be enough as Simple puts him down immediately. Continues to be held well, in fact, because Zeus is on top of it. Flamey and Simple are combining for kills. It's Get Right in the control room, but he's got absolutely none of it. The power's out. And so too are going to be his lights as he walks back out to find Zeus. Fires straight up, and it's 11 now for Na'Vi.
Nice, slow, methodical approach there from the Na'Vi side. Holding up for so long. Just keeping the CTs guessing as to where they could be approaching from. A couple of smokes. Connector, the bomb train itself. Left quite a large gap there for Draken to find the first headshot, but of course, Flamey out duels into that range with the Glock. Lovely work, and bomb got planted, and there's no shots being hit by NiP right now. No one's really stepping up in terms of the aim. Second round forced by Scouts up at Get Right. Not known to be a sniper. See whether he can find anything here as he holds towards inside. That's exactly where they're heading as well. 3-man stack towards inside. Make it 4. So they're in the right position. Can they hold them off?
Scout nearly hits a headshot from Get Right, just barely missed. And the miss is as good as a mile, because walking into the site, they'll take all and every bit of ground they're given. Forrest the last to go down as Flamey catches him from upper. 12 now Na'Vi, and still NiP has to sit and wait one more before they bring guns out. One of 2 major winners on this team.
It's true. Full eco. 13-5, almost certainly coming in. A difficult scoreline to recover from, but NiP on the CD side now, certainly the more favored, but after force buying that second round, have a really rough time to get back into this game. It's certainly still possible. It's not done just yet. Na'Vi certainly seem to be the favorites. Remember as well, NiP got the pistol in the first half and got the 3-0 themselves, so not looking too good for them generally. It's going to be Forrest now, the last player remaining. Just talk over their frag, wasn't too much to talk about. Running around in Mac 10s, spraying them down, 2 kills for Edward, farming $600 there. Now, Matt, do we think they keep those Mac 10s up? Oh, okay, well, they might have a choice. There it is.
Toward the other gun. That Simple is drop though and grab the AK, which is exactly what they'll do after putting Force down. 13-5. Now or never for NiP. It's Draken onto it. AWP, M4s, all else. Rez is even shallow for utility. I'll grab smokes. He's got head armor, but he won't have a kit. In fact, the only kit right now is Get Right, and Draken is glass cannon.
He is. And they throw away the MAC-10. They're going for the win right here, right now. Don't want to risk anything. Screw the economy. Let's guarantee rounds on the board. CT's a one defused kit, but I mentioned Get Right just in the SMG here. Not ideal. This is why the second round force spike can be so dangerous. Hold up. Zeus, of course, his team are going to hold up and slow defaults for now. Feel out the map, bait out the CT utility, bleed them out. Leave them with nothing. And execute together. Try and hold on to the smokes and flashbangs the best you can. Simple has got the orb. Try and find that first pick. Check any angle you can. CTs presumably won't be pushing at this point. Rez holding inside by himself, only got the M4, no nades now as well. If he has to hold off an inside play out with no nades, if he manages to get more than one kill, I'll be very impressed. Talking about being bled dry.
Jump across, it works to bait out the shot, but there's still leg contact made onto Flamey as Draken continues to hold patience as they jump again. Third time, not so much. Fires in, but fortunately for him, they're not close enough to capitalize. Simple and Flamey are. Down go Draken and Get Right. Massive amount of space created, but Forrest importantly finds not only one kill, but snaps back to find Edward. Drop the bomb on the first one as well. It's all down to Simple in a 1 versus 3. We know he's capable of finding 5, but I'm not sure it favors him in this situation. They know exactly where he is, and they'll trade accordingly. And they're going to run as fast as they can toward the AWP and just barely get there in time to grab it. 13-6.
Yeah, definitely just about got that one needed as well. 2 players surviving there for the CTs, but Forrest, what a recovery into that round, hitting all the shots that mattered. Rez came in for 1 frag as well, but still money available for the Na'Vi side. 13-6. After the reinvestments, the money goes down to 0 across the board for NiP, so this is one of those must-win rounds. Lose this, and the game is almost certainly over. Simple, Orp, and Zeus just on the CZ here. They know what this round means to win, so absolutely fine as one player on the CZ, which has proven to be such a deadly weapon this tournament. Certainly the most favored pistol. It's being set up right now by Edward.
There's alone and B. Edward's already looking to the high ground. Sneaking in with confidence as well, with no one picking up. Or Rez could be sitting in the open. As soon as Edward arrives, that's exactly what happens. And as soon as Edward makes that call, so too does the bomb. They rush it back over to B based on a single frag. Get Right, he's held out. Seized has him down, and Forrest, although he's fighting valiantly on A, the action's on B. It's a simple kill from Edward. He just walked in, Draken.
Yeah. They have to still try and win this round. And unfortunately, Exist, the last player remaining in 3 versus 1, spray down into smoke. That's just beautiful counter-strike from Na'Vi. Showing so much presence towards outside, dropping all the smokes as well, finding those kills, and then killing Rez, the solo player inside, pincering through the connector. NiP is gutted at that point. They could do nothing about that. That's the kill. As soon as he gets out, the B site's open. They've dropped the smokes on the connector as well. NiP know they can't waste any time. They have to find those frags, jumping through the smokes, and as I said, if they lose that round, it's pretty much game, set, and match. But 14-6, they have to just force by with the pistols here. CZs, Deagles. Get right the 1 kit. Almost no nades available. 3 flashbangs. That's it. Na'Vi, not the sort of team to give these sort of rounds away. They'll be going very slow. Try and find that first pick. Smoke out, drop all the utility. But, okay, Flamey. I'm thinking about it. He fancies giving it away.
Ooh, Simple. One headshot often leads to another when a young man like Simple is at the helm. Well, this time. Meanwhile, Edward again is going to be the one to walk in toward B. Contact last time was successful enough to lead to the round. He spots Rez. Won't be able to get the kill. The Deagle forced off to his left as Edward gets closer and closer, continuing with confidence, continuing to find the angles as Forrest goes down. Rez is still dancing behind Yellow, but there's no need for them to face. In fact, Zeus gets the kill just as they were covering it off, but the flank for Draken in a 1 versus 3.
How does he win this?
AWP, he doesn't.
Gave it a go. And that's going to be match point. So this one is done. They have to force buy once again. NiP after that 3-0 start didn't really show much promise at all here on Train. Na'Vi just looking like the dominant force that's shut down every single gun round. NiP have had 1 round of victory here in the second half. Now this could be it, round number 22. Not the most exciting first map to kick off this best of 3. Na'Vi presumably become 1 step closer to booking themselves a place in the semi-final. But we do move on to Nuke next, Matt, and that's where NiP do some of their finest work.
It is indeed where they do a lot of work. Edward finds Rez. VP and NiP, they were the Nuke teams for many, many years. Zeus finally gets put down by Forrest, but that just allows Simple to get in position accordingly to take him down. Nearly looks away too soon. He's going to get caught out awkwardly on the AWP as a result of it. AWP won't matter for Exist. He's, oh, okay, fair enough. Gonna not amount to much. Not going to do anything about saving the round or the game. 16-6, quick and fast from Na'Vi as they dominate NiP and silence the home crowd.
Absolutely. Nothing really to report there. Business as usual for Na'Vi. Much better performance across the board for all 5 players. I haven't been a fan of their campaign so far. It's looked really sketchy at times, especially for some of the individuals within the team, but Seeds especially inside Bombsite and Train looks much better. He seemed like he was hitting big shots and actually finding some ground to work with there. An actual solid anchor to all that side of the map. NiP couldn't break him down. And I'm a little bit disappointed with the tactical prowess of NiP in that first half as well. Didn't really seem to have any sort of executions or fast plays or any sort of game plan to shut down what Na'Vi were presenting, which is a shame considering they've got threat here. We can have input in the freeze time and everything like that. It seems like it's one of their weakest T-halves I've ever seen.
It wasn't great.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and sugarcoat that in any fashion. There was not much going on. It was a lot of just straight-up contact, trying to play the picks. Drake as well in the AWP, as I mentioned, was 0-10 to start things off against a double-op setup.
Sure.
His first kill was when they actually switched to the AK, which was encouraging to me, but they couldn't win the key choke points. They never contested Ivy successfully once. Picks on B, okay, fair enough. They get into B a few times. That's not hard to do with some utility and push the TCs back. But even on A main, a few trades here and there, but for the most part was getting shut down by then Zeus. As soon as they got the trades and had ground in the site, Zeus was just sitting on the bomb train itself and peeking out at will. So it was a number of problems, I think.
So 16-6, not the most sort of exciting first maps there. But like we said, Nuke is coming up. And historically, NiP, one of the most legendary Nuke teams of all time, they're still very good on this iteration of it. And it's their map pick. I'm sure they can bounce back. Are you feeling it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah? All right.
I'm not going to sugarcoat that either. But we are going to take a break, and I will pound myself full of more sugar because I love it. We'll see you soon.